It's how it does it. One of the worst things about Chrono Cross coming out is Reddit. And when Reddit comes out and people start going, because for some reason in Reddit, it's just like a hive of people going, should I play this game? And it's like all that Reddit is. And people are like, so should I play Chrono Cross now that it's coming out as a remaster? Like, does it have any connections with Chrono Trigger? And people are like, no, it's got nothing to do with Chrono Trigger. You don't need to play that first. And it's like, it's misinformation on Chrono Cross. Have you seen some of this?
My favorite example is when you posted the same question or same clip to both the Chrono Trigger and the Chrono Cross Reddits. And you got like completely different responses on both. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of just like looking at it, just seeing like how wrong people are or something. It's not a sequel at all. Not in the slightest bit. It's clearly, connected to the Chrono Trigger timeline. Have y'all played this? I think the problem is a lot of people haven't, or they stopped before disc 2, and they have no idea that there is any clear Chrono Trigger connection besides the Masamune.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if you don't know, shut up. Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
You're better than sounding like an idiot online.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane that people would say that.
The problem is there's a mob mentality of people who are misinformed. So when they start to like feel like they're being validated and that they're right about this thing, they're just going to continue spewing it. People like I'll humble myself if I'm wrong about something, but we can talk about it. Online, people in comments do not want to talk. They want to shout at you. And so I'm sorry, like I liked Reddit for a phase. I liked going on there, sharing clips and stuff. I just think that if you're on a search for information, take everything with a grain of salt and try and come to your own conclusions. Read between the lines and also experience it for yourself. I don't know. Chrono Cross is like a primary victim of like, oh gosh, people being completely wrong about things. I'm sorry.
I think what's cool about Steam is Steam has in there when they have like a review system, it also tells you how many hours the player that left the review has in that game. And so you can tell if somebody's bullshitting you because they're like, it's like 20 minutes in the game and they're like, no, the story's crap. It's no good, yada, yada. You can be like, okay, fuck you. And you can filter that out. You can be like, okay, I need people that have spent 10 hours plus or 40 hours plus in this game. There's no way to do that on Reddit. There's no way to do that on most things. Like there's no verify thing that says like, oh yeah, I've beaten this game. It's just people in a vacuum just shouting at the void. And they're just like, no ties to Chrono Trigger. And we're supposed to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you play Chrono Cross and you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Like, why any of that mattered. And, I mean, all the characters are there. Like, Luca's like a main, like one of the most, maybe the most important character in the game, arguably. And it's like, you wouldn't know who that is or why that character is important. You would just be like, okay, sure.
It should not be contentious to ask a question about if Chrono Cross is Chrono Trigger sequel. It's not, according to the developer, but the confusing thing is that the developer was kind of wrong on it too. So, they're misinforming people too. It's just a cluster. It's like a waterfall effect,
Well, and the one user pointed out to us that on the back of the box it says the long-awaited sequel to Chrono Trigger.
Oh no! And the developer is saying it's not a sequel. What am I supposed to think?
Get some mixed messages. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I'm not trying to come at anyone. Listen, it's not just Reddit. I mean, like you could say on YouTube as well, like comments, and I don't blame anyone, for being misinformed or being wrong about something. Just ask, like, to be more open being wrong.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You don't have to be right all the time. That's why you talk. You can be right later. You know? It's insane. One of the cool things, the thing I'm ironically most excited about with the remaster is not the remaster itself. It's Radical Dreamers, that we can get an official translation. And I'm excited to play it. I looked it up. It takes about 4 hours to beat. It says 13 hours if you want to see everything. Maybe. It's text adventure. I don't know if I want to devote that much time to that. But it's very exciting for me because I've heard a lot of weird, potentially misinformation on Radical Dreamers. That it's like a prequel to Chrono Cross, which I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's like an alternate reality version of it, or just like a not really connected canonically. But we'll see. I'll boot it up and take it for a test drive. So
that was probably the most jaw-dropping moment of the reveal to me when Chrono Cross Remaster was announced. Was like, really? This is getting acknowledged? I mean, as an insider who talked about that on a live archive, I'm just like, it just tickles my fancies or whatever. But most people, I don't think like would give a shit. But I'm like, oh wow, that's actually a good fan service there. Do I expect this to close the gap, the narrative lore gap between Trigger and Cross? Hell no, I don't. But I mean, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, what happened to Vegas? Let's find out. Do we find out in Radical Dreamers? I don't know, but yeah.
I think he is in that. He's Magil, supposed to be,
or something. No, Yeah, you're right. I think.
And he was supposed to be Guile in Chrono Cross, but the story was so bonkers already. They had to freaking toss that shit out. Like that tells you how
the
bad
best part
game.
is. Oh my god! The best part is like they went from like one of the most iconic SNES games and memorable legacy games of all time to a text-based adventure.
Yeah.
The same characters. Did they just like what? We just wanted to take some time off but still make the same, a game in the same universe.
It's
should have funded this. Like what?
It's creative. It's very creative, I'll give them that. All right.
It's a fan fiction? What the hell?
I mean, basically, in Chrono Cross feels like a fan fiction towards the end, too. So I want to not have that.